Hi, beloveds. So great to be with you today. And we've had a request for a video. One of our subscribers has asked, what is an emotional trigger? What a great topic. Thank you for sending in that request. And if you watch this channel often, you know that I'm a fan of breaking things down step by step so we have an understanding of a process or of a concept, and in this case, a phrase. So emotional trigger, it's just a term, it's just a phrase, it need not to trigger us. What I like to do is take away the power, right? The power around certain concepts or phrases, and let's take the power away from emotional trigger, shall we? Let's just give it a rest. It can take off its old clothes and we're going to give it a rest, all right? So an emotional trigger is just a phrase. It's just a concept. Okay, on that note, I'm going to make an analogy because I'm also a fan of analogies. Have you seen the movie Monsters, Inc.? If you haven't seen the movie, check it out online. There's a famous scene called the door chase scene. The door chase scene. It's an animated movie, and here's what goes on in the scene, okay? So the star of the show and his sidekick and this little girl, Boo, they are actually suspended mid-air, and they're hanging onto doors. And the other doors, there are many doors that are going by them fast, super fast rate. Some doors are going right, some doors are going left, some are stored up, some are stored down. Well, guess what? They're looking for just the right door for the little Boo, right? This little girl who's dressed up in a monster's costume, this little girl, because she's got to get just to her door, her special door where she feels safe. It's her home door, right? And they want to get her home. Isn't that sweet? Just the right door. There's so many doors to go through, but they have to find her door. And of course, in this scene, there's the evil villain trying to get him and try to get Boo and all these things. It has its own little mini plot. But it's very relevant with emotional triggers. And also, each of us finding our home, our door to go through. All right? So on that note, I'm going to flip it just a little bit. I'm going to flip the scenario just a little bit. So here we are in current day. So imagine we go into an environment or a meeting or some place where you're interacting with people. Let's say family dinner table. Oh, okay. Well, someone says something to you in just the unique way, just the way to call that door up, to call a door up that's held in your archives. I mean back there. That door is held in your archives, in your records, and that door comes up at lightning speed to current day. The door opens, and before you know it, you've gone through the threshold and you are back in the crazy making room. Do you know what I mean by that? You're just in the crazy making room feeling self-righteous or diminished or not respected or whatever, right? There's many triggers that are unique to each of us, but there's similar themes in the same way. So that emotional trigger often refers to a time when our central nervous system wasn't developed, our brain wasn't fully on board, right? I'm not talking adult on, I'm talking, this is childhood time frame we're looking at. So we often didn't have a conscious memory of what went on at the time, and our central nervous system wasn't developed, our brain wasn't fully developed, and in fact, there's a reason that teenagers take more risks. That's actually part of brain development. You can go ahead and take a look at that separately, but there's a reason, there's a certain time frame where teens take more risks. They don't have their reference point developed quite yet of recognizing that actions have consequences, right? Actions have consequences. Well, we develop that over time, don't we? But anyway, so the emotional trigger comes up from the past, and because we don't have conscious memory of it, and because it was imprinted at such a young age, it feels like an original wound, it has special significance. Let's put it that way. And we will step through that door more quickly. In fact, often when emotional trigger comes up, that door from the past comes up so fast, it happens at lightning speed. It's seamless. We're right back into the crazy making room, right? Wow. Okay. Whew. Now, the good news is, on this journey of self-inquiry that you're on, that I'm on, that we're on together, right? Everybody here in the community is on together. In this journey of self-inquiry, we begin to slow this down a bit, step by step. So we'll notice when that trigger comes up, we'll have the moment of self-reflection to maybe feel it, feel the precursor in our body, feel the cells getting tense, or feeling a headache, or whatever signal is unique to you. We'll have a moment that occurs that we can hook into before we say something, before we step into that crazy making room and say something. These are good signs, because when that door comes up, the door can still come up from the past at lightning speed. But we'll have the ability now to not step through the threshold and into the crazy making room. Or how's this? Maybe we just go to the threshold and watch the crazy making room and say, no, thank you. And that's really interesting, because you'll see a lot of familiar people in that room, right? And they're saying, come this way. Let's get back into your old patterns. Just take a seat and we'll hash it out again, honey. It's like, oh, no, I'm in the threshold. I'm going to watch this today. Thank you. And then you close the door and on it goes. So my point being is, as we do this journey, as we take this journey of self-inquiry, self-awareness, the pause becomes important, because it gives us time to self-respect, or to that was good. Self-respect and self-respect. I said it again. Self-respect and self-reflect. That's what I meant, but I guess self-respect was supposed to come out today. And then we can respond accordingly. Some days it's just saying, no, I'm not going to go through the room, and you're quiet. And then as you gain another skill set, you learn how to respond to those situations. But initially, it's noticing the trigger coming up. That's right. That's a past that was unconscious in the past, but now I am aware. Pausing, managing that trigger. And as you start to manage this trigger, this is when it gets exciting. There's a soul-enhancing experience that starts to rise. In other words, it's when you don't take the bait anymore, the soul starts to grow, and you start to feel more expansive, and you feel greater awareness. You're like, oh, that felt really good not to step into that room today. Oh. And that experience, that soul-enhancing experience, will ultimately start to soothe the triggers more. And you'll feel a relief. I don't have the burden of taking the trigger anymore. I don't have the burden of stepping into that room anymore. And you can breathe again, and it feels so much better. So as we learn about the triggers, as we put the pause in, and it's scary initially when you don't go through the threshold, it's scary. But when you don't go through the threshold, that soul-enhancing experience rises, and you step into your own. And that's when the triggers and the emotional traumas, then you can see the other side of that. Oh, I learned from that. I grew from that. I wonder if this is a journey of self-transformation. Why do I feel more complete when I don't step over that threshold? Very interesting. So this becomes more of a contemplative practice at that point with insight. But it also gives you the encouragement not to take the future triggers. So there'll be, a trigger, you'll get that one down. It's like, oh yeah, I got that one. But then another one will come up, right? It will. But you'll have the skill sets to deal with it. That's the point. You'll have a skill set to deal with it. You'll have the track record of, oh, okay, I get it. I didn't have to go through that threshold, and here's the new door. I can choose. Now, I'm not saying in situations don't respond, right? If someone is truly disrespectful to you, it is very much okay to say things like, do you care to reword that? Or to be silent and depart. They're proper responses. They're for situations when when there is unskillful wording going on, right? There are. Okay, so emotional triggers. My hope is that this kind of framing that I've created today will empower you as you go into your world, right? When you notice that trigger coming up saying, well, there's that door, well, there's that door, there's that door, there's that door. Here's the door. Bye, door. Or maybe not, or maybe go into the door, go through the threshold, but if you take the threshold, you'll notice more. You'll be like, oh, that didn't feel so good. Maybe next time I don't have to open the door, right? So I hope I have broken this down step by step, and I hope I have made a relevant, even powerful analogy today. And go ahead and check out that door chase scene. Let me know what you think. I love to hear your requests. So if you have any video requests, please put them in the comment section below. And you can count on it. I will be back here on the channel very soon. Bye.